Today we want to discuss about the Kenyan church in the year of Jubilee, and I am your host, Raphael Mwechu. Karibuni sana. Let's just begin by asking ourselves, gentlemen and our lady here, what we mean by Jubilee. Because as you all know, we have the political Jubilee as far as I'm concerned, and the spiritual. My concern is, can we get right with what is Jubilee so that we don't confuse the two? Maybe you men of God, maybe somebody is asking, what is this Jubilee? I've just heard of Jubilee and maybe I've not been able to understand it well. Maybe Apostle J.Obiayo shed some light on that.
Thank you, our hosts. First and foremost, I'd like to talk about Jubilee. The concept of Jubilee, it was ordained by God himself, and he gave it to Moses. Why did he give Moses? He wanted the land to practice some rest and liberty. And that's why he ordained and told the children of Israel that you should have rest in between. For example, he started with the seventh day. And then he told them you should count 7 times 7. That will be 49. And then from 49, the 50th time, you should sound the shofar. This is the shofar that we need to sound during the Jubilee celebration. Let me try and see if I can sound this one.
Is that the way it was?
That's how it was supposed to be sounded throughout the land by the priests.
What was that significance?
The significance, it was to mean that you should decree the land to be at rest. You should not harm. You should not do anything over the land. You should rest. And the land itself, it has to produce. Why did God do this? He wanted to show human beings he had the supernatural power to control the land. And that's why he said, let the land have a rest over the 50th year and celebrate a Jubilee. Which means you can reflect back maybe your success or your failures and to set other things free.
Reverend Regina, are you of the same opinion as Apostle is trying to explain our march of Jubilee?
Yes, I concur with my brother Apostle J.Obiayo that a Jubilee, where God ordained, how God ordained it, it was for the land to have a rest after 50 years. That is the instructions which God gave to Moses to the children of Israel. And they said on that context that the people should go, those who are slaves should go back to from their masters to their places.
Yes.
The maids should be free to go home. The land should be given a rest. He tackled on every aspect of life in that chapter Leviticus 25. Now, when we come to Kenya, I think we are tackling it on a different perspective. The real thing about this Jubilee, the whole concept has not even entered our mind. We are being caught up by just superficial things, whereby we know we were given freedom by colonial masters. But what kind of freedom did we get? We know that the land was given back to the Kenyan government. That is where the genesis of things, where they should begin. But now as we celebrate this Jubilee of 50 years since that time, 1952, to date, what have we achieved as a nation? Both spiritually and physically.
Yes.
So, in that context, the way Apostle has shared, Jubilee is about a rest, Sabbath rest, a sabbatical year, which we are seeing it very differently than any other year in the history of Kenya.
Benson Gure Bishop, do you have the same explanation? And maybe if you don't mind, you could tell us the genesis of Jubilee.
Maybe I would say about the same mind, but I will come up with something different. The source of Jubilee, or the genesis of Jubilee, is God himself, ordained of God. Whether we know it or we don't, is still God, the God of the times. And many are the things that we fulfill in the scriptures without
our knowledge,
our understanding. And so, we have all the reason to celebrate the Jubilee.
So are we celebrating the Jubilee is the nation celebrating Jubilee out of their knowledge? without even getting to understand the rules of the Jubilee.
They will celebrate the Jubilee without understanding as per the scriptures. Deuteronomy 29.
Yes.
Revealed things belongs to us. Hidden things belongs to God. Those hidden things are the ones that God's calendar should go as per this word.
Thank you. Thank you, Bishop. And do you think, as per your knowledge, you men of God, to be honest, should the church celebrate Jubilee, or we are still having issues with ourselves that we cannot fully enjoy what you are telling us, the freedom and the liberty, Apostle?
Thank you, my dear host. When we look at the church, let us see the New Testament church. How did it begin? It began on the 50th day of the Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit was outpoured to the disciples of Jesus Christ. It was a promise, and is a promise from the book of Joel chapter number 2. The challenges that we face, we Christians, these are the challenges that they were foreseen earlier, because we cannot confront these challenges physically with our own mind. We can blame the government, we can do that. All these things are tied up in the spiritual realm. And that's why God told Joel, tell the children of Israel to go and consecrate a fast of the elders to sanctify the land, so that God himself can drive away the enemy, and then pour the Holy Spirit upon all flesh. You see, when we come to that level of pouring of the Holy Spirit, number one, the land must be healed. He says, I will restore all the years that the locust canker ones have eaten.
Where should the Jubilee begin? Should it begin out of the world or from the church? Because I understand that we have the political wing having taken the Jubilee, and we have the Jubilee government in place. So that means they have already taken it.
Let me clarify. The Jubilee government has not taken place, or it has not stolen from the church. The Jubilee government is going by the calendar, how the government was formed, and they have been going year after year. That's why we have Mashujaa Day, Jamhuri. When you look at those 2 days, they are different. We celebrate even Madaraka Day. Those are different days. So the government keeps on course to observe the way it was formed, and that's why it's participating according the way it was formed. Now, when we come to the church, we need to understand how the church came into existence. It was through the power of the Holy Spirit. And where we come from, the disciples were in the upper room on their knees.
Or you have the same man.
And the church should come out clearly to voice out the challenges facing the people as a nation.
The same topic of discussion. What is your message? And as part of the panelists of the Jubilee, Transitional Voice, what's your message?
Wherever there was a decay in the land, God raised a voice to speak over the evil in the land. Even God saw the land of Nineveh was full of evil. He had to send Jonah, even though Jonah was not willing, but he became a voice. And that's why we as panelists here, we have decided to raise a voice. We are neither for the government or neither of the other, but we stand for the voice of God.
Thank you.